Hey everyone, Naptime Builder here, and I've always wanted to make a LEGO Star Wars MOC. The only issue is I don't have the time, the space, or the money to make one of these big things. But I've always wanted to recreate some of my favorite scenes from Star Wars, The Clone Wars, and other Star Wars media and movies. So today I'm setting out to remaking one of my favorite scenes from Season 7 of The Clone Wars. While this moment is devastating and truly the end of The Clone Wars, it speaks a lot for Ahsoka Tano's character, and I wanted to portray that today. So using my limited parts collection, dismantled LEGO diorama sets, and this minifigure, I'm setting out to fulfill my childhood dream, so follow me along my journey. Enough of that sad music. So I want to use this Ahsoka Tano minifigure, but there's some inaccuracies, so we're going to be replacing a lot of stuff on this figure. First off is the headpiece. It's just way too big. We need something smaller, so I found something that'll fit perfectly. Next, I love the current face, but it's way too happy, so I found something a little more sad. There's an alternate face, but we're not going to be using that. I also got some custom printed arms, that way she can have her gauntlets, and I got this waist cape piece. So when you put it all together, here's the old and the new Ahsoka Tano figure. I think this looks just way more accurate for the scene we're trying to portray. And if you're wondering why I have her lightsaber lit, I'm trying to recreate this pose that Darth Vader does where he picks up her lightsaber and turns it on. Just kind of staring at it, a moment of self-reflection and thought about the events that have happened. I know she should have a cloak on, but I don't really have one of those that fits this, so this is the best I can do. Moving on, we're going to need a handful of helmets. I grabbed 9 of these, a couple 501st, a couple 322nd, and just some regular ones. Then using 2 of these cylinders plus a bar piece, you can create a stick that will allow you to plug on the helmet. Do that 8 more times and bam, we're ready to go. Next, we're gonna need a base plate. Well, actually, we're gonna need 3 base plates. Using 3 of these 8x16 plates will allow us to have a perfect base. I started by adding a perimeter of plates around the edge. This will allow me to add a wall, just like the other LEGO dioramas that you've seen before. And as I started going, I started to realize, wow, this is going to take a lot more pieces than I actually thought it would. And a lot of this is just trial and error. I'm not a professional, I'm just trying my hardest, so I have to redo things a lot. Now I'm adding some plates in the center, just for a little more stability, that way the MOC doesn't wobble around when I'm touching it. And with a couple more plates, we're finally done and ready to flip this thing over. Now that we got it flipped over, I can start to add those walls I was talking about. It's just some bricks with tiles on top, that way it looks nice. There's also some grill pieces. It's just the LEGO diorama stuff you see before. Now I'm pulling straight inspiration from the Death Star trench run diorama just so I can attach a wall. So right now I'm building those anchors, that way when I have the wall ready I can just attach it via these Technic pins. So I'm placing these here just so you can get an idea of where they're going to be and how things are going to attach. Now we can get on to the part I regret the most, which is the way I built the base. I thought it would be cool if I pre-built things and slowly placed them on the plate, but I often had to take things apart because I built things prematurely before I had placed other things, and it just kind of came out a little lumpier than I would have liked. But you live and you learn. I'm trying to recreate different hills and like dirt that looks like it's been disturbed, so some of it's a little darker, showing that Ahsoka and Rex have been walking over the top of it. Now I don't really have a plan for what I'm building or how it's gonna look. I do know that I want like different terrain and I need the wall to fit, so I had to replace this piece. I don't want all the studs to be the same height, so I'm trying to create variation by adding more studs and different wedge pieces and slopes. That way it just shows different hills where clones have been buried or dirt or sand hasn't been touched yet. I think one of the hardest parts for me was building things, looking at it, seeing I didn't like it, so I had to replace it with a new part and keep adding more and more so it looked detailed enough for me to continue on to the next chunk. And it doesn't look like it, but at this point I had been building for like an hour, and so I kind of got fed up with stuff, and bam, I finished it. Here's all the sand and dirt. Honestly, I really do like how it came out. I like the different hills and the different variety and heights and textures that all the studs provide. And I'm constantly checking for scale, so I'm placing my Ahsoka Tano figure down just to make sure things look right. And it sure looks like she's standing on something, so I think I'm doing something right. Anyways, on to building all the greebles or like random junk that's around, so I just took random like snot bricks and placed them together with different things just to try to make like random space junk look like broken Venator parts. Honestly, a big thing I did is I just constantly added like little dark red pieces just to try to spice it up a little bit and change all the boring colors of the gray and dark gray. And before you type it in the comments, I'm aware it's light bluish gray, okay? Funny enough, this piece was pretty much just straight ripped from the Death Star Trench Run set, so yeah, that's cool. And I was looking for any junk. I found an R2 leg and combined it with a Technic piece. I even created a couple more anchors just so the wall would be stable when I attached it. So now there's going to be 3 points of contact instead of just the 2. So, classic mistake, wasn't recording, so I got this wall kind of pre-assembled, so we're just going to start adding junk to it and just kind of trying to make it look like a broken down Venator. I think an important thing to remember, that there's no rhyme or reason to this. I'm literally just putting pieces of junk wherever there's a space or a gap, that way it creates some more visual interest. Focal point of this diorama or mock is for the Ahsoka Tano figure and the helmets, so you're not going to really notice just the random greebles that are around. Now we're just adding all the things we pre-built. Honestly, there was a lot of time in between all these takes where I was just testing to see if things fit, trying to figure out where to put them, things like that. I don't really plan on having anyone play with this mock, and so because of it, I have a lot of things just resting there. They're not actually like properly attached. But I was always mindful to place junk around the stuff that's just resting there. That way it kind of holds it in place so it doesn't just fly off if I have to move the set. Now this piece was very satisfying. It slid in very nicely. And now we can finally start adding some of those helmets around. Tried to make sure that they were in a sporadic order so there was no rhyme or reason to them. I like things a little asymmetrical, not perfectly, but just a little bit. So now it's time to place the last helmet down, place our minifigure down, and roll the beauty shots. Thanks for watching.